Come along, children. Now we're going to have a little music.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy RB3.
And I'm Sabrina.
And we're here for another review for First Cut, this time for the new Rian Johnson sequel to Knives Out, Glass Onion. Daniel Craig returns as
Benoit Blanc.
Yeah, I can't get that first name. It's French, but you know, Kentucky too. You got Janelle Monáe in the cast as well. Edward Norton, Kathryn Hahn. Also forgot to mention Leslie Odom Jr., who's also in the film as well. Mad people. And this is obviously the sequel to Knives Out, one of the first movies that all three of us on First Cut reviewed with you, Sabrina. So just off top, what are your initial thoughts on this film?
I was really excited coming into this film just because anyone knows who has been watching the channel, like all three of us really enjoyed this film, and we really enjoy Rian Johnson's work to a certain extent. Like, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think all of us pretty much enjoy his filmography. And I think what he does when he steps into a specific genre is just like flip it on over its head. We even saw it with Star Wars with The Last Jedi. Whether you love it or hate it, it is something that is so unlike any of the other Star Wars films that preceded it. And so with this one, of course, we have another whodunit, and Rian Johnson just layers upon layers. Glass Onion is the perfect name for this because there is so much to unpack with this, and I had an absolute blast. I think this one, I'm going to do another rewatch, but I think I can safely say that I prefer this one even over the last one. I think they're both fantastic, but this one just had so much like fun. It just seemed like everybody working on it, Rian Johnson, Daniel Craig, which thank God he is like released from Bond for a second, just to like have so much fun. As great as he is as Bond, I think he is really able to flex so many different chops, whether it's comedic or dramatic as Benoit Blanc. So I was really happy to see him back in this story because he really is the glue that holds it all together. Whether it was the first one or this one, it's his charm, wit, ridiculousness. Sometimes you're just like, how is this person who is so smart just saying the most outlandish thing right now? But we love him for it. But yeah, I absolutely love this. How did you feel about RB3?
Yeah, I was a really big fan. You know, it's funny because one of the the guy who did the visual effects on Timestamp, his name is actually Guy Bergman, and he was one of the visual effects people on the first, and his uncle Ram Bergman, who's producing partners of Rian Johnson and actually produced Knives Out and the sequel Glass Onion. I like the idea of them creating like an American Sherlock Holmes, and them creating like somebody who but takes it into very American themes, right? Very American concepts of like the super rich, the powerful, the elites, and how frankly people at the bottom and marginalized people, particularly women of color, have to play at the margins and the edges to all these powerful dynamics. And we see that in the first movie with Ana de Armas, it's a storyline where she is not a maid, she's a nurse to the main character. In this film, we have Janelle Monáe's character, who her name is, well, I don't know. I don't want to say too much without spoiling, but basically a large ensemble of friends of Edward Norton. He's playing like this crazy eccentric billionaire type, almost like an Elon Musk like weirdo. Invites them all to this island to have a fake murder mystery. And our boy is there in the mix. BB. I'm just gonna Benoit. I just have a hard time with the French. But yeah, I think so his inclusion in this story is not intentional, but it ends up being the perfectly placed element to everything that unfolds. And because Daniel Craig's character is kind of like our POV. We equally don't know as much as he knows throughout the story. So as things are becoming unveiled to him, we're starting to learn things more and more too, starting to uncover the dynamics and relationships between a lot of these people. I think they show you that in a world controlled by money and capitalism, people just make the most immoral decisions like of all time and just like think they could get away with it. And I think they play on those themes like really beautifully in the first two films.
Yeah, I think there is a lot to be said about that. I love that you mentioned eccentric billionaire like Elon Musk. it almost feels like, you know, when they made this film a year ago, 2 years ago, this theme is just so relevant and timeless, because right now we're experiencing it with Elon Musk on Twitter. And even just that idea of who are these people that we see as, you know, like interesting geniuses, super rich, wealthy elite, and also how many people they hurt and how many people they have supporting them, but with certain strings attached, and who they support. Yeah, again, don't want to get into spoilers. I know we will do a full spoiler discussion soon, but seeing that character, I feel like is super, super interesting. And also, I feel like this film is a timeless time capsule of the last 2.5 years of our lives. Them playing, this isn't spoilers, but like them playing Among Us, you know, the pandemic, the masks. And also, one little thing that I feel like, I don't know if this was intentional, but I'm going to go on a tangent for a second. Lana Del Rey came under some heat like 2 years ago for wearing like a fishnet mask at like the height of the pandemic, and Kate Hudson's character was wearing like a fishnet mask. So I just feel like all of this is just so much commentary on people. Like, if you guys remember, I know it feels like it was ages ago, but those first few weeks of the pandemic, like Ellen DeGeneres posted a video of her crying in her mansion saying she felt like a prisoner. And like just
Nancy
how
Pelosi,
crazy.
yeah, Nancy Pelosi was like eating ice cream, like had like 100 tubs of ice cream in the refrigerator. And it was like,
The Gal Gadot Imagine video, like we have seen so
yeah,
much through social media and just this amount of press coverage we've seen of people nowadays versus celebrities decades ago. We just saw like paparazzi photos. We didn't get an inside look into their lives. Now, because of Twitter and social media just as a whole, we're able to see so many different elements of these people. And that's how we can say, like, you are kind of deluded. You live in a different world than the rest of us. So even your worst that you're experiencing is nothing compared to, you know, what we're going through. And we see that a lot with these characters and just the way they interact with each other and how they're discussing the pandemic. So really great commentary there, as always, with Rian Johnson, and just like really great writing. I think, as I mentioned earlier, that whole idea of him taking a specific type of film or a specific type of genre and just completely flipping it on its head, he does that with this, because as Knives Out was, like, this is not a straight up whodunit. Actually, I think in both films, the reveal of the killer is just not as interesting as the actual storyline unfolding in itself and everything imploding on itself. We saw it with the family in the last film, and we see it with this group of like friends in this film. I think all of this like unraveling that is happening is the most interesting aspect of the film. So instead of just going straight forward to like the whodunit of it all, we are just like so enraptured in all of this. But is that even a word? I'm literally pulling like an Edward Norton right now.
yeah,
It's very late.
say,
Enthralled.
yeah. Well, it was, you know, I think, and I think you're 100% right. Like, I think the originality, and I think the break, you know, almost like the level of self-awareness that the film presents, not, it doesn't like break the fourth wall, or it doesn't like, you know, particularly wink to the camera, but it knows exactly the tone that's trying to capture, and like goes for it really, really hard. Like, there's mad scenes of like characters looking like dramatically like from behind the tree, or, you know, like, you know, posted behind like a hallway. And, you know, there's a lot of times where visually Rian Johnson takes bold steps to make the mystery heightened and more fun. Like, there's a really cool blackout sequence that happens like halfway through the film. You know, shout out to my man Dave Bautista, easily the best wrestler to actor transition of all time. He definitely like has been showing his chops. He had multiple funny scenes, but I feel like his last scene might have been like maybe the funniest to me. I think all of the mix mash of comedy, mystery, but also like sincerity played really, really well. I will say there is one aspect that there is one aspect of Janelle Monáe's character that we learned like a little bit over halfway through that I think was just a little bit corny, like just a hair like over the line of like, this is like a little too much. Like, I don't want to go into it without spoiling. But yeah, regardless, I think overall the film was really, really well done, really, really fun. It was sharp. And again, Rian Johnson delivered on making, you know, eating the rich. I'm making a film about eating the rich. So, you know, he can always appreciate that.
Absolutely. And I think overall, I love that you mentioned Dave Bautista, Janelle Monáe, Kate Hudson. Honestly, every single person, even Ethan Hawke, who has like, I don't want to say it, but like doesn't have that much screen time. I think every single person has their moment to shine 100%. But yeah, overall, Janelle Monáe, Daniel Craig, those are the two standouts to me. And something that I saw recently on Twitter is that people were discussing how Dave Bautista is like the best example of someone who just like, especially going from like the wrestler to actor pipeline, somebody who is not afraid to play any type of character, like his character in Blade Runner 2049 to this. It is just so much more interesting than just an action star. You know, there's a lot of facets and everything that he brings to the table, which I really, really admire about his performance in this one too, especially with just like how crazy his character is, like how out there. That's super interesting. But yeah, for me, the standout 100% Janelle Monáe and Daniel Craig.
Yeah, I don't know if Dave Bautista really played a character in Blade Runner 2049, but
I mean,
I definitely.
did. What do you mean? He had his tiny glasses.
Yeah, he was a prop. I feel like, you know what
No.
I mean? Like, he was a prop.
But you're a hater, right? You're a hater of Blade Runner 2049.
I don't like 2049.
Okay,
it's not a good
sense.
movie. But yeah, I think I'm glad for this movie. I hope people get a chance to see it in theaters. You know, because I think for one, Netflix definitely spent money on making this a lot more high budget, a lot more visually escalated. There's a ginormous, multiple set pieces and production designs that are inspired by glass, that are beautiful. This quote unquote glass onion is this really gorgeous like set that, you know, I think is elaborate and ends up coming into play in a lot of really fun ways at the end. So with the elevated production design and the elevated like spectacle, especially towards the end of the film, you could definitely feel like, oh, they added a lot more explosions and a lot more of this stuff to like really amp the action aspect of it. Yeah, I felt that. And I'm glad Netflix did it. But at the same time, I hope people get a chance to see it on the big screen too. So
100%. And that was actually something that I thought about coming straight out of the theater, which both of us just got out of the theater, made our way home, and we're filming this. So this is definitely initial reaction. I'm excited to go see it a second time this weekend and really sit with all the details. And also come back to you guys with a full spoiler review featuring Andres as well. So we'll have that to you guys. But like for the time being, when I was walking out of the theater, I was thinking about that discourse that people have with like the effect of like superhero films in cinema and the idea of just like cheering and it being like, of course, Martin Scorsese, like that thrill ride and stuff like that. But this, it feels earned because like the crowd that I saw it with, people were like out loud gasping, cheering, but it's something that felt natural rather than, you know, like disingenuous. It just feels natural at certain moments to just be really amped up, really excited, because that's the ride that Rian Johnson like took us on with this film. There is so much to talk about. There's so much substance in it that I'm excited to get into all of that with our spoiler review. But for the time being, I loved the hell out of this movie. I'm so excited to see it again. And I stand with you with that. Like I recommend seeing it in the theater just to get the rest of the theater's reaction.
Yeah, I want to know everybody's thoughts at home. If you're excited for Glass Onion, if you're able to see it in the theater near you, you know, I know it's only playing in like 600 theaters in the country or some of that nature before it gets to its like Netflix platform. But if you're a fan of the first Knives Out, let me know what you think. Let us know what you think also in the comments down below, because listen, we think the first one's great. I think this one is like around on par. I don't want to like compare them too early. Like maybe I'll probably like give this one a couple more watches before I like really say how they are. But I'll probably say they're probably on par. They're really close. I really love the first one, so that it's tough to top the first one for me. So, but this one was
agree with you there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I agree 100%. I think the first one is like near perfect as you can make this tangled web of a story. I thought that was perfect, but I feel like with this one, it was just full Rian Johnson going 100%. And so that's why I think I might prefer this one. I don't know yet. Yeah, I'm on the same page as you. I think they're both really, really great. Like even if I had to rate them out of 10, first one would be like 9.5. This one, I think, would also be like a 9 or a 9.5. Definitely will feel secure on a rating on my second watch.
Yeah, same. Let us know, people. Are you gonna wait to watch it on Netflix, or are you gonna see it in theaters? Let us know in the comments down below. And also just make sure to check out any other videos that we got here on First Cut. Sabrina, where can the people find you?
Ooh, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. My Twitter is Sabrina X Monica, and then actually my Twitter is Sabrina on Film, and my Instagram is Sabrina X Monica. My TikTok is Sabrina on Film, and my Hive, which people started downloading. I don't know anything about it yet, but I made one just to take my username, Sabrina on Film.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think that's not gonna last for like more than 3
right.
months. But yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Director RB3 and get stream timestamp on Amazon Prime. With that, we are peacing out. Let us know where you guys are checking out Glass Onions, theaters, Netflix. If you're down with Craig fans, you want to see him back as James Bond, you want to keep seeing him play BB for the rest of his life. Let us know, comments down below. With that being said, I'm RB3.
I'm Sabrina.
With First Cut. Peace out, y'all.
It's either me or you. It's either me or you. You do the math, only one can remain.